I was at the gates. Ram's legs, my beats black, my plant's dead, my planet X, and my bleed green. And what's under the uncut chia seed? And what from the guillotine?
I've been waiting a long time for today, and maybe since you saw the title, you've been waiting a long time too. I am Michael Wood. I was a cop in my former life, retired now. I went and got a PhD in management, and now for some reason I am here talking to you about one of my personal interests that has nothing to do with anything I've done before or anything else on this channel. And that interest, well, let's step back a little bit here. I am a typical 70s kid, and along with that comes a few interests in music that wouldn't surprise most people, I don't think. So my love for Kurt Cobain is something that you hear somebody my age say, and it doesn't surprise you at all. But there have been some other people I think have influenced me. Kurt, the reason I really was drawn to him was that he saw the world in a way that made you feel behind. If you go back and look at some of the things he was writing when he was a young child, he was seeing things now that I feel like many of us are just waking up to or beginning to observe in the world. I got later influenced by Jonathan Davis of Korn, who really taught me a bit of what it's like to see masculinity in a different angle, that standing up for the weak or even being open about how you feel about certain things is a different version of masculinity that you can't even say is less manly, because it takes a lot of courage to be open about certain things. So I learned a lot from him, and many people are going to hear me talk in the past about Jack White, and I just think there's nothing on stage like Jack White purely playing that guitar, letting it flow, mistakes and all. But as of recent, I really think one of the most maybe intimidating artists, and that can make you not want to get involved because you feel like you might not understand the song, or that it can have a weird beat and you don't understand what's happening. And I'm not going to sit here and claim to you that I understand always what's happening, and that's part of the thrill. And that is that today in the mail, well, actually, yesterday I got patient and waited because I wanted to do this for everybody. Rhymesayers Entertainment sent me what I have been waiting a long time in pre-order for, and that is the new Aesop rock album. We're going to have to open this up real quick and see what we find. And I think the reason I stumbled across Aesop, and maybe many of his fans out there too, because I think the only way you do find him is, as one of his lines says, well, I don't even remember the line exactly, but he says something about that he has been forgotten longer than you've been interested, or he's been ignored longer than you've been interested. And that makes a lot of sense for his career path. Unless you're hunting down something different, you're probably not going to come across Aesop. But in that pursuit of hunting down something, and maybe in the mold of Kurt Cobain, speaking about that, and the way Nirvana was, we were all sitting there listening to hair bands like Bon Jovi and Motley Crue, and then suddenly we heard Nevermind album come out, and we heard Smells Like Teen Spirit. And for me personally, my first introduction to rock was Metallica, and I used to hear that, and then I saw the One video, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? Then, a little bit later, I came across things like Nirvana and like Rage Against the Machine. It was like, oh, this is crazy, this is amazing, this is what I've been waiting for. And I feel like when it comes to hip-hop, the same thing has occurred. Lyricists are weak, everything is very much cookie cutter, it's bubblegum, it's pop, it's gross. We have auto-tune going over people's voices. We have wop, 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 and you all know it. It's preposterous. But Aesop's a different breed, and Aesop is speaking past us a lot of times. And we have to really get into every word means something. Every clip in a video of his means something. I would hold that he's literally one of the greatest lyricists of all time. By far the greatest lyricist when it comes to writing poems and rhymes that you put to music. I can't think of a rival when it comes to breaking down something and even drawing your interest. Maybe somebody else is more interesting, but can't really pull you in the Aesop way Aesop does to understand his lyrics, understand what he's trying to do, what he's trying to be open about, what he's trying to convey to you. And I think this album is going to be a little bit different. Usually Aesop is exploring and kind of being honest about the inner workings of what you're going through, maybe some depressive things, and just kind of exploring them in an open way, but like a guarded fashion. And this new album, the Spirit Guide, Field Guide to the Spiritual World, maybe we should look. The beautiful cover art, I think we should say, is first standing out. The Spirit World Field Guide, that's what I was trying to put together there a second ago. And look at that beautiful art. Very nice vinyl packaging here. Not the greatest, let's be totally honest. I've seen some pretty wicked stuff. A different rapper I've come across because of Rhyme Sayers named Prof. He just put out a really cool special collector's album that I'm sure I'm not going to buy because it's got all kinds of stuff involved in it. But I think in this album, we are going to watch Aesop be less guarded, to kind of, it's like he would tiptoe around what was going in his head, crazy thoughts in your mind. And he would just acknowledge that these crazy thoughts existed and put them through in a convincing and very dense lyrical fashion. I think this time we're going to see a more open version of Aesop. I haven't listened to the album. I have only listened to The Gates. And in that song, it sounds like he's standing at the gates, literally in this spirit world, choosing whether to go in or not, and to go really explore these ideas. And maybe I'm just pulling too much from that song. I'm going to get some lyrics out and go through this album. But that's really what it seems like he's going to be doing here. He's going to go into that world, let us in. And instead of saying, depression's over here, or I have this weird thought about this thing over here. Why does an animal look this way? How do we communicate with the world? What is the meaning of all of this? I feel like instead of tiptoeing past this, he's going to dive right in and just fully embrace it, which would be a real break from Aesop and something I'm very much looking forward to explore. Most of these songs I'm not going to get. I'm not probably going to get them for years. I think you literally have to listen to Aesop's songs over and over and over again. If you haven't listened to it at least 100 times, you probably really don't have a clue what's going on. You need to put it all in context. And I'm really hoping that this album will go through a straight line of like a continuous story. That's something I love about The Wall and The Dark Side of the Moon, that you have this continuing flow. One song flows into the next, one purpose flows into the next. So let's take a second and let's unwrap this real quick and see what we have inside. Now, on a bit of a side note, I want to say that Aesop and his rap comes from Portland. And we could just say the Northwest, but generally the Portland concept is what you hear about. And you see videos of him being around Portland. And granted, most people watching this video probably aren't going to watch or probably haven't explored my YouTube catalog and its serious nature versus this fun nature. And if they explore that catalog, or those of you who already know me, you will know that Portland is by far my most hated city in this entire country. I think they are doing incredibly insane things there when it comes to just being in reality. But they gave us Aesop, so I guess it all washes out. Let's open this up. Oh, so we have a map here, and this is something about Aesop that I was kind of hitting on a little bit there, that this is going to mean something. And I'm very excited about figuring out what it's going to mean. We have a moon. The songs are connected to the moon at certain points. They're in an order, but not exactly in order for different things. So maybe we're going to be jumping around a little bit. We see some portals where we're obviously going to a different place. And maybe we're going to hop along this different place. So there's all these different locations on the moon it looks like these are pointing to. So each song, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're kind of hopping to different places in the spirit world that Aesop has established. I'm imagining that he'll take us through a journey into this world that he imagined. And there's going to be a significant point to each location and to each story that he is telling us. Slide this out here. This is really cool looking. In this album, there's been a lot of icons. I wonder what this is. It feels plastic. It's a little translucent, but not much. Maybe static cling. Put these on the car or something. I would definitely do that. I'm really fond of this bird down here, considering I'm an Arizonian, and this is looks like a kind of Phoenician bird. But each of these are definitely going to mean something as well. So we have a moon, we have a sea monster, a magician, a joint. Probably a good point about this album. You may want to be in the proper headspace. A bridge, the phoenix, an eye, a dog. Aesop has long had a fascination and reference in his albums to different animals and the way they kind of play or approach the world differently than we do. Is this open? I feel like I shouldn't even be touching or messing up. Like I should keep it in mint condition. But then I also feel like, what's the point of buying it if you don't actually touch it and enjoy it and get involved in it? And these are, oh look, so they are transparent stickers. And I normally would use all my stickers to put on my daughter's skateboard or my snowboard. Putting them on my skateboard would just be poserish. After my ACL reconstruction, I am way too much of a old man to hop on that skateboard again, but still down with the snowboarding. Here we go. First, we got translucent, also transparent in the middle of the album, which doesn't surprise me considering we have this connection. Everything with Aesop's going to have a connection. These are transparent stickers. This is transparent in the middle of an album for a reason. There is a circles going around this. This kind of looks towards like maybe the portal. Maybe in some music videos, we'll see them go through a portal that looks like with this color pattern, but everything will matter. Everything will be significant in helping you put together the puzzle of even what he's talking about. Oh, we have completely transparent album. Almost transparent. We can go translucent. Many people don't know the difference between that. And I hate saying many people, so I don't know why I do that. But I've come across, no, that doesn't even work either. Transparent means that you can see completely through it. Translucent means you can see through it, but it's colored to distort it in some way. So obviously this songs, where the tracks go, is translucent. And in the pure plastic, where there's no writing, that's transparent. I don't see anything else we can do. This is all that came in it. That's all I did. Oh, wait, we have two albums. I should have paid attention on side, let's see. Side A, side B, side C, side D. I don't know why. I just didn't expect a double album. We have the same look. And on this first album, we have Hello from the Spirit World, The Gates, Button Masher, Dog at the Door, and Gauze. Then we have Pizza Alley, Crystal Sword, Boot Soup, and Coveralls. So let me just try and make a few predictions. I think we're going to get a message from the spirit world. Then we will go to the gates. Button Masher, maybe an arcade. Dog at the door, there's going to be a dog that comes visits. A Gauze, so maybe we have an injury. Story about an injury. Then we have Pizza Alley, so I imagine we're going to physically, well, not physically, he will take us there. I don't know, where would I use there? Imaginatively? You get what I'm trying to say. Take us through Pizza Alley, the Crystal Sword, the boot soup. So I imagine maybe we'll go to a restaurant, get some boot soup, or somebody will offer us some boot soup. And coveralls, I think we're going to meet somebody that has coveralls. It's kind of weird, or maybe we'll have to wear coveralls. Let me just look at the back here. On side 2, we have a jumping coffin, holy waterfall, flies, salt, sleeper car, 1 to 10, attaboy, kotokushi, fixed and dilated, which just refers to eyes. One's fixed, one's dilated. Maybe one will be fixed, one will be dilated, or we're talking to somebody that's dilated and somebody else is fixed, which to me first will hearken towards maybe the person is on a psychedelic. Psychedelics will make your eyes dilate, and then if you're sober, you won't be dilated, you'll be fixed. So then maybe he's interacting with somebody that's just way out there. The side quests, so obviously we're going to go to side quests. We're going to eat some marble cake, and then I guess the 4 winds may bring us back out of the spirit world into the normal world of the living. These are my predictions. I would say at this rate, we should go ahead, take a 420 break to get prepared, and come back, give this thing a listen on my Stanton T55 USB, which I record. I have a lot of other albums up on my professional channel, Fluid Theory, where I just record them in a high form wave off of this Stanton. And it's really cool to be able to preserve kind of the analog feel still in a digital format where you're not worried about continuing to replay it. I am very excited about this. I hope you guys are excited as I am. If things get weird and you don't see a follow-up from this point on, then please check an alternative source, which I'll have linked somewhere, where we can sit there and listen through the album. Sometimes the copywriting gets weird with YouTube. And I've never really been able to make sense of it, so I can't, it's very difficult to plan around. So let's take this break and let's come back and let's give this thing a listen. I am stoked.
I was at the gates, Rams legs, my beats black.